Do you love hearing about archaeological finds found by Israeli archaeologists that take us back thousands of years ago? Then this is for you. Shalom, my friends. This is the Kiva Gersh with Israel in 5, where we give you everything Israel in 5 minutes. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, want to keep the conversation going, please do so below in the comments. Let's once again focus on the old city of Jerusalem, reminding ourselves that back in the day, there was only Jerusalem. What we call the old city today used to be all of Jerusalem. And modern Jerusalem expanded beyond the walls of the old city only about 150, 160, 170 years ago. Inside the old city of Jerusalem, Israeli archaeologists have found so many incredible and important artifacts. Let's also remember that Israeli archaeologists were only allowed to go into the old city, only able to go into the old city after 1967, after the Six-Day War, because the old city was inside of territory controlled illegally, that's another story, by the Jordanians after the War of Independence in 1948. And Israel, the Jewish people, were completely cut off by the old city and all the important historic and religious sites that are located there from 1948 to 1967. After 1967, you can imagine the feeling of Israeli archaeologists for the first time in their career getting to go into this area and start the process of digging meticulously and slowly and finding out more about the ancient Jewish past in this area. I want to share with you a few things that they found. One thing is we know from the Torah that the priests who worked in the temple and did all the sacrifices, amongst other things, they wore very special clothing. Your average priest wore 4 special garments, and the high priest wore 8. And one of the unique garments, so to speak, that the high priest wore was this beautiful, beautiful robe. And at the bottom of the robe were these golden bells. And it would make a little sound so people would know that the high priest was coming, was in the area. These little golden bells. It's described by the Torah very specifically. And what did Israeli archaeologists find? In the area where the temple used to stand, by the Temple Mount near the Western Wall, one of these golden bells in the shape that as it's described in the Torah. An unbelievable thing to hold this in your hand and to know that this was worn by the most influential Jew of that time is a very, very powerful thing, right? To line up the archaeological findings with the words, the verses of the Holy Torah. An incredible thing. It happens all the time. This is one of the most amazing examples of that. Another great and important and inspiring, even chilling find was in the area of the Jewish quarter today, where once upon a time Jews lived. It was called the Upper City back then. And they found in their archaeological digging there, they found all kinds of evidence of fire. And we know that in the year 70, the Romans destroyed the temple using fire, but they also destroyed this neighborhood, the Upper City of Jerusalem, by fire as well. There's all kinds of burn marks on the floors, on the mosaics, on the walls, on the frescoes, all kinds of evidence. But probably the most chilling evidence that they found was the skeleton of somebody's outstretched hand. And when the archaeologists found that, they stopped in their tracks. And they had a really deep realization. They knew it mentally that what they were doing was digging up the Jewish past, but it really hit them when they saw that. Because they knew the story. They knew the story that in the year 70, the Jews of that area were being chased and attacked by Roman soldiers, by the Roman forces. And they were running here and there, trying to save their families, trying to save themselves. And right next to that outstretched hand, the skeleton of, was a spear. And so the archaeologists kind of imagined that this person, right, was running to get a spear to protect his or her family, right, from the approaching Roman soldiers, and died in that moment, in that place, right, with the outstretched arm and hand, and the spear just laying there on the floor nearby. And that's how it stayed for 2,000 years until modern Israeli archaeologists dug it up and exposed it. An incredible, incredible find. And then these are just some of the examples of the archaeological findings that are coming out of Israel today that are linking the ancient past, the stories of the past, with the words, with the verses of the Torah, of the Holy Bible that we've been reading and learning for thousands of years. It's an incredible thing to see. It's an incredible thing to witness. It's an incredible time to be living in.